The eaglet that we're releasing today, we named it Windfield because it was blown out of a nest next to the Kroger supermarket on Route 66, which is Windfield Parkway. And this particular eaglet is significant in that one of the parents of this bird was actually released by us into the wild in 2007. It was hatched in April of 2007 by a pair named Independence and Franklin, which is on, they reside on the Dollywood Park. They've been on there for years, two disabled Alaskan birds. And both parents had a disabled left wing due to gunshot, and they were sent to us separately from Alaska, but they've been together for years and have hatched out numerous young. So one of the parents, the female on this nest, who we're naming Lady Independence because her mother was named Independence. In 2007, we released this bird in July. We released it in July 12th, 2007. And then it found a mate somewhere and came back to this part of Tennessee. Of course, you know, our whole hacking program is right around the cove right here. We have a hack tower that we've been releasing all of our captive hatched eaglets. And the whole concept of doing that hacking process is that some of the birds, if they can survive long enough, will find a mate somewhere in America and bring them back to the general area where they first learned to fly. And of course, as the eagle flies, our hack tower is very close to the river behind Kroger, and as this spot is as well. So this proves that our hacking is working. This confirms that. And to have one come back to Sevierville was a pleasant surprise. When they first nested there, they didn't really build their nest in a tree properly. They always picked some limbs that weren't quite stable, but they built a big nest in it. So 2 years in a row, a storm blew that nest down. The first year probably had eggs in it, and they ended up being destroyed when the nest came down in a storm. But last year, the storm in June 2nd knocked most of the nest out of the tree. And the two eaglets that were in the nest fell down to the ground through the brush. And one of our volunteers, John Pritchard, who's right there, he gave me a call when I was on the way to the movie theater one night saying, the nest is down and the eaglets are probably down on the ground. So we rushed over there. We went through all the brush and we found both eaglets. One of the eaglets had a severe damage to one wing, so it's not going to be releasable. We've actually already are training it for an educational bird, and its name is Abraham. And but this eaglet that we're releasing today only had damaged tail feathers, so it couldn't be released at 12 weeks of age when they normally leave the nest because of the fact that it would not have been able to fly properly. It wouldn't, because the tail's needed as a rudder to steer and to stop. So we've had it for the past year. It's been in our flight cage, a 150-foot long flight cage, getting exercise while its tail feathers grew in. And so we feel it's ready today. In fact, when we caught it up this morning, it was just trying to get away from us for, I guess, about 15 minutes. It kept flying back away from us and didn't want us to catch it up. So we didn't know at first. We knew that one of the parents had a band on when they were nesting here in Sevierville, but we could never really read the entire band until this year. We have photographers that have been trying to get different angles on it, and so it was confirmed this year that it was one of our eaglets that was released. Okay, now I want you to hold the two wings together for me, please, real quick, so I can get the feet. Okay.
Got the wings.
Okay.
You got them?
Got them, yeah.
All right.
Okay. So this is Windfield. And as you can see, he's a very small male. You can tell the size of his head and his beak is fairly small, and his feet are fairly small. All right, we can walk down here, guys. Who wants to be my guide?
I will.
Let's see. Where should I do this? Huh?
That way, yeah.
Which way? You show me where. I'll go wherever you want me to go. So he has options to go in trees.
That way.
I'll just say 1, 2, 3, and I'll toss it up. I may toss it pretty high, so 1, 2, 3. It's gonna go in a tree. That's good. That's a good place for him. We'd rather have him be in the woods sitting in a tree somewhere than we would floating in a lake on his first flight. That happens sometimes when they leave the hack tower. Every now and then want to land in the water and we have to go retrieve it.
We're going to go check it out. Just be in Florida.
Okay.
So what'd you feel about today's release?
I thought it was, well, it's emotional for me because of my relationship with those birds. And I'm just delighted that we were able to release one of them and that he looks like a pretty strong flyer.
Sure does.
And it was wonderful to watch him fly away.
Also, it'll be nice to keep track of the other one because it'll be in the education program over there.
Well, that's an opportunity that we have to raise a bald eagle from the age of 6 weeks and put it in our educational program. It's really unfortunate for the bird, but a really fortuitous opportunity for us as an educational facility to utilize that bird.
And then tell me just a little bit about then the eagles have relocated their nest. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. This year, a friend of mine and I, we were looking for the nest and trying to follow the eagles, and he actually found the nest. They had rebuilt the nest within a mile of the old nest, which is typical, a 1 mile radius of the old nest. And it's on Chapman Highway, and that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah. And at this point, you still don't know if they've laid eggs, but it's likely they have.
There are chicks in the nest because
Tell
I've been watching them bring food up and feed. The chicks were too small to peek over the nest, so I've not seen them. But judging by their actions and their behavior, it's pretty obvious that there's something in that nest that's getting fed.